Episode 3 Hong Kong and Taiwan Asian Stopover. The annual seasonal migration towards the southern hemisphere saw me make use of my stopover in the unique and beautiful Hong Kong. Spanning both sides of the water from the colonial Hong Kong island and onto the southern tip of the Chinese mainland, the city describes a mixed history merged with an evolving future. Population density was intense. Initially, I felt claustrophobia, imagining the dozens of apartments stacked atop, below, and on three sides of the place I was in, let alone considering the multitude of high-rising apartments huddled closely together from the foot of the vegetation-covered surrounding mountains down to the water's edge, all around the bay. Despite the swelling metropolis, there is almost ever present the eye of the natural world peering in from between the towers of concrete, steel, and glass. By night, the electric lights appear like another dawn, illuminating structures and creating a magical second version of the city. Its multiple levels on the uneven ground give the appearance of an enormous amphitheater, incredible from below and from above. In my years before snowboarding full-time, I was an obsessive skater. I pursued the fine carved line with abandon for over 2 decades, and it still brings me peace. Most certainly I will release some content regarding this in time. To skate the streets always offers an intimate perspective of a city, not only as a method of transport, but when you skate you are riding the surfaces created by men. This attention to physical structure can tell you a lot about the government spending, societal values and restrictions. Whether skating cut stone, concrete, tarmac, asphalt or tile, there is more to the ground under wheel than first appears. Sometimes the weather was good, but on other occasions,
kinda soaking.
Before the journey continued to New Zealand, I made another brief stop in Taipei, Taiwan. Rent a bike, meet a good mate, visit the night market, and ride up to the top of Yangmingshan to overlook the city at night. There are unbelievable numbers of small capacity scooters and motorcycles in Taiwan. During the day, the city streets are giant pelotons racing between traffic lights. At night, things were much more relaxed. Breakfast. In my boutique hotel, and time to ride a bike around to see what this island looked like. Immediately out of the city, you enter mountains covered in thick green foliage. Two-lane roads meandering between tiny roadside villages. It was picturesque around every corner, and even more so when coming across the many intricately designed and maintained temples. Situated almost without explanation, they display the fine talents of those who built them, but the echo of an almost silent past, seemingly at odds with the comparatively unimpressive modern developments. At every apparent tourist hotspot I stopped to discover an unknown attraction.
Adventure time, come on, grab your friend.
A mix of food, trinket vendors, combined with natural beauty seemed to be the formula for Taiwanese local tourism operations. mountain roads were enjoyable in their curves, but the restrictive speed limits prevented total absorption into a flow state of spirited riding. I couldn't help but make comparisons with my trip around Europe. To be out with shorts and t-shirt and no gloves didn't feel secure, but the heat left no option. Without doubt, there is an optimum temperature for riding fast, and this was above the sweet spot. The Yamaha MT-09 was fun, with heaps of torque and an upright riding position, perfect for a little play for a day or two. With the Akrapovic exhaust, there was unending smiles on revving, acceleration and downshifts. Managing to avoid all rain that day was a blessing. It was back to Taipei for a good dinner and a final night in the city before going to the airport the next day. After a short return to Hong Kong, the shoulder season was over, and it was time to continue the journey. I had an incredible experience in this city, and I'm grateful to all the people who shared with and helped me make so many nice memories. I miss you all, and I miss the time we had there. Next, it was on to my mid-year home in New Zealand to engage with winter once again.